We're here. It's Sunday.
It is, let's do it.
It's 8:45, which means we get to have Sunday fun day. It's underway, folks. Everyone's got a great day going on. We're gonna add to all of that fun and enjoyment. Today, we're gonna give a little primal. What does that mean? Well, you're gonna find out. To get started, we're gonna come to the front part of our mats. We're gonna bring our feet about hip width apart. As you inhale to salute the sun, raise the arms. And as you exhale, gently let that upper body fold down, pulling the hips backwards, keeping the spine long as you can, and then letting it just flex out. Let's find a spot where you can land your hands on the floor and step your feet back into plank pose. We're going to bring the body to hover low by dropping the knees first, and then slowly lowering the upper body. And then we're going to raise up that upper body, take the knees up and off the floor. Then step forward, left and right, our feet. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Exhale, fold, unfold, and salute the sun. That's primal there. It's basically getting up and down on the earth. We're going to do that a few more times. Hands live on the earth, feet step back. Knees lower, upper body finds itself on the floor, pushing back up. Up off the knees and stepping the feet forward. As you inhale, raise and salute the sun. You're going to feel a little warmth building, a little heart rate. That's all normal stuff. It's this movement pattern. Continue to do it. Enjoy it for the next few reps. As you step back this time and lower the knees, pull your hips back towards the heels. Find a little reprieve in your child's pose. Love it. Lean back forward, stepping the hands, excuse me, underneath the shoulders. Let's take the knees out to the width of the mat. Let's bring the feet, together. So we have a little V shape going on with those lower legs of ours. If you kind of hit, hang out here, you're going to draw the hips back towards the heels and walk the hands forward. Now, I'm going to come down onto my forearms in a modified type of position. We have kind of a frog leg position, if you will. And from my elbows located underneath my shoulders, I'm going to basically use my palms as a point of leverage. And as I raise up the elbows and lower them down, it's like a little baby push-up. So we're going to do a few of these repetitions. It should feel pretty easy. We're just warming the body, mind you, so we don't want a lot of extra effort. Rising up now, stepping the feet out, pulling the hips up and back. If you walk the hands back to the feet, inhale, extend to a flat back. Exhale, fold back down. Walk back up the plank. So as we walk the plank back and forth, this is basically another primal movement, moving along the ground. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Exhale, lower. Unfold the body and salute the sun. Good morning, bright, shining, happy faces. As you exhale, release the arms. Take the right foot, step it forward. Just be lunge into this lunge into this position. Try to remain relatively vertical with the upper body. Take the back heel, aim it towards the sky, drive it towards the earth, and just piston up and down. Nice vertical orientation in the upper body. Now bring the arms in, raise them up as you push up, lower them down as the heel lowers, and do this for a few repetitions. All right, bring that back foot forward, step that opposite foot back, and once again, aim the heel, drive the heel, and continue on the reps. Add the arms in. Enjoy this for a few repetitions. How's your day going? A little bit of energization of the body, waking it up. Slow and rhythmic movements. Reach to the sky this time, step that back foot forward. Hold all that you can skyward. Look up at the fingertips. Now drop the chin, pull it in towards the neck, and relax the arms down. Palms are facing into the body. We're going to rotate the palms the face backwards, so that your thumbs find a little touch side of your body. Just take the heels, step them a little wider than the big toe, so your toes are angling in. Now, with this internal rotation we've got on, I might kind of squeeze forward the shoulders. And then in a movement, kind of like a corkscrew type movement, we're going to sweep and rotate the thumbs, route up the chest, continue drawing those thumbs circularly backwards, pulling with them, pull back the arms so they're nice and long, making sure that our neck is not compressed. Keep it nice and relaxed. As you inhale, salute the sun. As you exhale, lower the arms back down. Baby fingers reach in to touch or direct towards the side of the body. They may not touch, don't worry about that. Take your thumbs and rotate it back a little farther. Draw back the arms, sweep them up to the sky, and then lower down forward, about shoulder height, palms bring the face. Let's bring a little direction to the lower legs. Now, straighten out those legs of yours. Take the heels and try to pull them in towards the center line of the body. Ball of each big toe, make sure it's connected to the mat, and try to make an effort to push it down as you draw in the heels. And as you keep that, keep the legs relatively straight and draw that butt backwards. Take the thumbs, rotate them internally and downward, and then corkscrew them and go through that a few repetitions. Please don't lose those legs, keep those heels and those big toe, when the ball they're up, pulling in. And on the next breath, as you release it, bring hands over hearts, standing tall. Step your feet, take them straight forward. Take your booty and start to lower it down. Squatting or sitting is another primal movement. It's very important for us to re-engage the musculature of movement. And why it's important is we know we all sit for long periods of time. And then when we rise up and when we walk and we become mobile, we realize that things don't function the same. This is why we do these types of classes, is to create that opportunity, pathway for mobility. Let's do a few more reps. Now, let's change up and make this more of a noticed movement. When we lower, I'd like you to try to pull the legs together without driving the knees in. And when we raise, I'd like you to push everything outwards without having those knees push outwards. Keep the knees tracking. Pull in as you go down, push out as you rise up, and do that for a few repetitions. Just kind of wakening up some of these medial and lateral or other side muscles, making them a little more active in our hip, knee, ankle hinging. Rise tall, hold tall, release the arms, sweep them to the sky, sweep the arms down as you fold down. Find a nice resting spot for them, whether it's on the shins, fingertips on the floor, whatever's working for you right now. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Keep that back in extension, draw the hips backwards. Exhale, let the upper body flex. Inhale, extend. Keep the extension, try to draw back a little more, but walk the fingers a little more forward. Exhale, flex the upper body. Pilates style, stacking vertebrae upon vertebrae, rise up and salute the sun. Good morning. As you exhale, the arms, hopefully they're all warmed up now. A little bit of going on. All right, let's take your right foot, step it forward, left foot steps back. Church and state have a nice separation so that we are balanced. We're going to bring relative straightness to the leg, but I want you to have a stance where you're not leaning into this right now. I want you to try to be as vertical as possible. And that back leg as straight as possible. And that back heel has no inward or outward rotation. Give me your best version. We're going to roll over the ball of that big toe on that left foot as we slowly, with tension, lower that left heel to the earth. Now, holding down on this spot for that nice pull through that posterior portion of the lower leg, as you bring the hands forward and upward. We're not looking to ratchet back. We're kind of looking more to lengthen through the lats, the serratus, and all these muscles of the upper body. I'm going to make a slight cupping to the hands as I reach them high to the sky. And then I'm going to lower the arms and let them slowly open as they guide past the hips. And draw back with a nice straight arm. Let's take the chin, draw it into the neck, and then pull it upwards. Keep that nice extension to the neck as we learn to train it, or as we train it to have length in our movement today, right? So we're not like pulling, dropping into it. Bring the arms back forward, up, raise up, like you're pulling, almost like you have a hand wrapped around a ball that's being pulled away from you towards the sky on an angle. And then lower the arms. Now we're going to add a little bit of lower leg, lower body movement with the upper. So push up on the toes as we come forward and drop the heel down as we come backwards. And do that for a few repetitions. If you notice any burning going on in that right butt cheek, thank you, you're welcome, right? Keeping nice and vertical, so we're not leaning forward, we're not Sheryl Sandberging this thing right now. We're nice and tall. And as we reach up this time, draw the hands over heart. Same setup, opposite side. I lead like that. All right. With this in position now, lower the leg. Keep that, and it might not go all the way to the earth, that's fine. Just give me your best version of it down. But make sure you haven't turned in or out. Hips are still square. All right, now piston up, piston down. Slowly, like there's resistance from your body through the range of motion, both up and down. All right, with our nice vertical bodies, just a friendly reminder, arms extend forward and up, holding up on the toes to start it, and the same movement. Piston down, sweep down with the arms, piston up, rotate in and upward, and pull. Very important that you try to pull like something's actually pulling that whole upper body up and away on an angle. You're reaching to that nice length. So those upper body muscles, you might feel the low back all the way up along the middle and upper back working actively. Feeling those nice lats, those strong lats of yours, lengthening out as we make this movement happen. A couple more repetitions. And on the next one, drop the hands over heart, step that back foot forward, shake out your legs if you need to. When we finish that little process, recovering, like step those heels of yours to the edge of the mat with the toes turned upward. As we slow this down, it's mostly because we've got a nice warm body, and now we're going to work a lot of these muscle chains of the posterior side. I'd like you to make sure your knees have an angling over the center two toes of the foot as we begin to descend down. So, one thing I like you to try to avoid is the winking, tucking under pelvically. We don't want to overreach back, and we don't want to pull in. We want to find nice, stable pelvic girdle. Nice one. So, as you lower down, see what your body is inclined to do, and try not to let it inwardly rotate or externally rotate as the hips lower, so that pelvis remains a good base to stack the vertebrae, the spinal column on as we descend down. I'm going to hold, and as we arise, I'd like you to push from the heels and push upwards. So we have the movement established. Hands over heart to start. Slowly lower down, pelvis in check, finding that nice rate of descent where it's governed with tension through the muscles, finding the depth that we can go to today, and exploring the depth on each repetition without compromising that pelvic stabilization. So as we raise and lower, we push with the heels, and we let the weight of the body descend into the heels of the feet, pushing back up. You might also notice that the quads experience a little different loading as we push from the heels. They may burn a little bit, enjoy it. We're strengthening them also. Now, when we lower, extend the arms out. When we raise the arms up, cup the fingers. Same kind of experience coming up. That ball that we kind of grabbed onto is being pulled up and being pulled down by you. Raising, lengthening, lowering. Pull. Lower. Pull. Raise. Hold. Step the feet forward. Bring hands over hearts. Take a breath. Take some water. I'm going to grab a little water now. Find with all this work I'm doing, a little bit of heat going on. Maybe it's just the environment we're in. Is it hot here? Feels hot. All right. Let's bring our feet. No, you're the hot one. She's just emulating heat. All right, we're going to bring our feet out to the edge of the mat. Instead of turning the toes outward, we're going to angle them inward. Bring your hands on hips. I like you to bring your knees kind of like, you know, when you're snow plowing. This is more for the Canadians than, or maybe some Americans have learned how to ski with the little pizza slice. So we're going to get the little pizza slice with the knees coming down, angling towards the center line. And then we're going to stand tall and bring straightness to the legs. And we're going to squat with the knees angling inward and raise and lower. The movement pattern isn't a big one. There's not a lot of range here. But as we move, I want you to be mindful of what's going on pelvically. Tucking, extending, or secure. Secure is where we want to be. This is identifying, sometimes we have compensatory type of muscle behavior or bone placement behavior, because some of the muscles that help the hips move get a little bit lax from sitting for long periods of time. All right, so now we have that kind of like locked down. We're going to take the feet, step them straight forward, and we're going to bring hands back on hips. And we're going to start to lower down and notice what's going on, not just pelvically now, but in the upper body. As the depth goes down, muscles that are long don't pull sufficiently, and muscles that are short pull more, which is why we have a lot of this pelvic movement around, or one of the reasons. So I like it to try to control all the way down and all the way up. Nice pelvic security. Stabilization. Do a couple more reps. Now, on the next rep, pull down, drop your hands towards the earth. Spread your feet a little wider if you need to. You can angle your toes outward. So we have fingertips with cupped hands and a nice deep squat. Bring extension to your back by crowding out the chest. Make it nice and proud. Feel the little pull of muscle through the hips. Hold on this for a couple seconds. And then push high to the sky, the hips, let the upper body pull. Oh, yeah. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Keep the back in extension.
Bend the knees, lower the hips, fingertips, cupped hands, of course, on the earth. Proud your chest. Hold, make the neck long, draw the chin in, pull it upwards also. Keep the chest nice and proud, and then push the hips to the sky. Step the feet inwardly, inhale, extend to a flat back. Exhale, fold, take it down to your mat. Oh. Good morning. Yeah, that kind of like got to me a little bit, did it? Oh, yeah. Kirsten saying, oh, I like this, of course. Body's at rest a little bit. So we're in a seated position. We found ourselves up and onto our sit bones. So we're not in a panda-like, inwardly rotated hip type of situation. Our hands should not really be facilitating that process, but they can if they need to help. We want the musculature through the hips to really be managing their stability as opposed to some distal part of our body. We're going to keep the chest nice and proud and bring a little bit of opening to the hips with long spine, leaning back. We're going to drop the chin and raise it, pull it high. So it's basically pulling in and up simultaneously. You have a nice long neck, muscles engaged, nice and stable. Take the right hand, reach it forward. Now, keep the gaze forward, open that arm. As wide as you can, and as far back as you can. Hold on this, chest proud. Let's make sure you haven't spun out the shoulders. Now, bring that arm back, right to the side body. Bend the elbow. So we have a forearm to upper arm, 90-degree bend. We're going to take the right shoulder and pull it down. And we're going to take the right forearm and lower it down. Chest is proud. We're not caving in. See how low you can get this. Keep the hand flat. Don't try to reach down with the fingers. Keep the elbow high. Keep that rotation effort as best you can. And then slowly roll it back up. Open it back as far as you can. And then do it one more time. And then we switch sides. Down. Hold. Try to get a little deeper. Keep the elbow high. You can see I'm starting to cheat this a little bit myself. And then raise back up and relax. Bring it over to the opposite side. I know.
Well, I worked my hip flexors yesterday.
Yeah, well, it's tough. So we bring the arm out, fingers wide, open wide. Now, as you open, I want you to be mindful too of the shoulder, making sure it's not rotating inwardly as you open up. This is a double opening process. It's the shoulder capsule, the joint, rotating backwards, which is really your scapula, opening backwards as we move the arm backwards. Chest is proud, we haven't come out of square with the shoulders. As we bring that arm back forward, right above shoulder line. Elbow bends, have half a field goal, rotated downwardly. Sweep up slowly. Sweep back far as you can. So this is where you want to explore with the range of motion without compromising, without getting funky with the shoulders. And then come back up. No, we're not doing it on the back today because this is a little more challenging. As we sweep forward the hands and bring it back to the knee, Pilates style. Take it down onto the mat. Extend the legs all the way straight. Take your arms above the head. Fingers and toes pull opposite directions. Let's bring flexion to the feet as the hands arise and stay up over the chest. Drop your chin inwardly towards the chest and begin vertebrae by vertebrae to peel up the spinal column. Keep the neck inwardly rotated with flexion in the spine. And let the fingertips kind of pull through. Wherever they go, just take a couple of minutes, a couple of seconds, and enjoy.
Couple of minutes sounds.
Couple of minutes sounds good. Now, As you inhale, extend to a flat back. Walk the hands back inwardly with legs extended, staff pose. Bring hands over hearts. Proud through the chest, long through the neck. Chin pulling upward and inward simultaneously. Take the arms, extend them straight out to the sides, palms open to face the sun. Thumbs pull backwards. 90 degrees in both elbows. Rotate internally. Rotate externally. Chest proud. And do it a couple more times. Explore the range down. See how much rotation internally you can get with those forearms. And then finally, bringing hands over heart, Pilates style, take it back down. Extend the arms all the way out, point the toes. Pull opposite the fingers and toes as you inhale. And as you exhale, bring the knees up and into the chest. And then just play around a little bit, rock and roll, make your body feel good. When you're ready, let the bottoms of the feet drop to the mats. We're gonna rock pelvically until we find that low back skin having a touch point with our mats. As we maintain that touch point, there's a very sequenced way to do it. So I'd like you to take your belly button and pull it inwardly, and then take your six-pack muscle and engage it, fire it up. Like I'm gonna drop a bowling ball on your belly, keep it nice and strong. Now, while we have that, I'd like you to take your arms and let them drop to the earth and open the palms to face the sky. And bring proudness to the chest and no tension to the neck. Take your legs and your thighs in particular, pull them together. Make sure that that pelvic girdle of yours hasn't rotated forward to pull that low back off. I want you to keep that six-pack muscle. Now, while you hold this, while you squeeze those legs, I'd like you to drop the chin into your chest and peel vertebrae by vertebrae up and off the earth as the fingers reach parallel to the floor forward. So it's like a crunch, and slowly lower down. Chin, pelvic girdle, six-pack, and all of the other muscles working to create flexion in that upper body. Lower back down. Do it one more time. And then lower back down. Extend the arms and legs opposite direction. Lengthen it all out and enjoy. Slowly coming back up, Pilates style. Oh yeah. What is going on, folks? A lot of primal stuff today, like I promised. Seems like stuff we do a lot of. Yeah, I guess you're right. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Exhale, keep the back in extension. Walk those hands back into staff pose. Take the left foot, bring it inwardly. Bottom of the foot finds a spot. It may not be the whole bottom of the foot, whatever your version is. Try to get a little number 4 going on. Who am I for? You're for me, I'm for you. I know, corny shit. Now, as we keep the body square to the extended leg, the right leg, shoulders square, we're going to start walking forward. Now, as we walk forward, some of us might see the inward migration of that left knee. I'd like you to try to use the muscles on the outside of that left leg to rotate the leg towards the earth, and then take the right heel and drive it away and bring extension to the spine as you reduce the angle from the upper body to the leg. So we have nice proud chest, hands walking forward. Enjoy that nice length for those hammies on that right side. Walk it back in. Now, What we were doing was assisting with the arms. We're gonna use no arms this time by bringing hands over heart, crowding up the chest, and then letting the upper body descend. The range may not be the same, but I'd like you to try to explore just hands-free this fold opportunity. Take the left leg, rotate it onto the mat, push it onto the mat as best you can. It's muscular action. Come back up and then switch the sides. All right. So you might notice on my side, maybe different on yours, but I tend to have a little more problem getting that right knee of mine down compared to left. But I'm going to make sure I'm on my sit bones, just like you should be. Nice and long to the spine. I'm going to walk the fingers. And as I walk out, I'm making a solid effort to kind of exteriorly rotate my right leg towards the mat. As you inhale, extend into a flat back and walk it back in. Hands heart and begin the descent. Take that left heel, drive it to the earth. Take the right knee, rotate it as best you can inwardly. Spine is long, long, long. A little bit of trembling is okay. And then slowly come back up and extend that right leg back out. Spread them wide, hands to the center. Let's walk it down and let the upper body just do whatever it likes to do. You want to add a little of this, you can take your hands and reach them towards the heels. And then use the arms to kind of leverage a little bit of pull. Pull with responsibility though. You know your body and how it feels, and you can give a little more rotation, which is the inward rotation, the reduction of the angle of the upper body and legs, closing in on the hips. You can find a little more. Back up. And as you bring the legs about hip width apart, Pilates style, take it down. Keep the arms beside the body with fingertips, which are cupped hands with tips of thumbs and fingers on the earth. Now let's find some shoulder blades that are flat. So kind of walk around the material back there so you can kind of find a nice, relatively flat. You don't feel like the ridge of the shoulder blade or any part of that pushing into the mat. You kind of have a nice meaty surface that the shoulder blades are sitting upon. With those arms straight, turn the elbows inwardly downward towards the earth. Take the feet, rotate them internally so that the toes can reach and touch, hopefully. When you find to touch the toes, bring flexion to the foot and try to bring the thighs together. Our legs were long. There's probably a slight bend in them now. Just enjoy that slight bend because we're focusing on two things. Flexion of both feet, the most important, and then the squeezing of the thighs, second to that. In other words, we're not compromising foot flexion to get more squeeze of the thighs. And then relax everything. The legs should be relatively straight as we allow the heels to be hinges and the feet open wide. Keep the legs nice, long. Take your head and rotate it to the right. And bring it back center and rotate it to the left. Try to make the rotation happen with calmness and avoid any tension through any part of the movement. Now, head centers, legs step inwardly, heels to the earth. A little bit of pelvic rock to find that low back, skin touch. While we keep that now, while we reverse, lift. So we're going to basically bridge
we're doing a reverse sit-up of sorts by peeling vertebrae by vertebrae up off the earth onto those flatly located shoulder blades. And then we're gonna slowly, from the top, working down to the middle, and then eventually down to the lower back, lower down onto the mats. And once that low back skin is completely touching, or your best version of it, we're gonna bring the legs, the thighs together and begin to peel vertebrae by vertebrae once again. Bringing height to the hips by pushing as we squeeze. It's kind of like that whole area. It feels like it's a little engaged, which is good as we slowly descend vertebrae by vertebrae, maintaining that nice inward squeeze, finding that low back, and then doing it all over again. Slowly pushing up, driving from the heels, crowding out the chest, and hollowing out the belly as we suck it in. We lower vertebrae by vertebrae all the way down. This time, set the legs all the way out, toes point, and hands sweep up above head. Pull opposite the fingers and toes. Follow out the belly and sweep up Pilates style, keeping the flexion in the spine as we dive the arms. Inhaling, extend to a flat back.
And walk it back into staff pose. Now we're going to sweep our right leg all the way back as we come into our 90 degrees in both legs. We have an opportunity now to take that right side and rotate it forward. So we're relatively square to the shin on that left leg as we lower down onto our forearm. I'd like you to take that right hip and try to create a further rotation. You feel a little bit of a pull over that right side. I'm going to bring my right hand on top of the hip. I'm going to help to push a little bit more. And part of this is not collapsing forward with the upper body. Part of it is extending, finding length. Now that we have that nice inward rotation, that nice pull, we're going to add to it by bringing the hand up and over. So my arm is in vision. It's not over by my ear, it's slightly in front of the head. I'm going to take the palm, rotate it to the earth. I'm going to cup the fingers, and then I'm going to use that like it's a grip on a ball that's pulling away from me. And it's going to create that nice length along the side body. So it's the pull and the rotation. And then we're going to come all the way back and switch up sides. Same setup, opposite side, left hip this time, we're going to rotate it forward. And left hand onto that left hip. You'll notice spine, the spinal column is extending. And we're trying to keep a nice orientation. So there's not lateral flexion in the spinal column, but that nice length supported with that right arm. And then take that left arm, sweep it up slightly forward, arms in vision, cup fingers, left hip rotates forward as that ball pose, that cupped hand of yours, up on an angle, forward, find that nice length. You may notice that one side feels a little different than the other. This is why we do both sides, even though it might benefit one side more than the other, it's equal for both. And then let the arms sweep back, sweep the legs forward, bring the feet touch. This is often my favorite pose because it's one of these things that
You're good at.
I'm good at too. And Kirsten goes, how do you get your knees so low? I said, I'm broken. That's it. Now, this is what panda is like. Panda legs out, upper body's folded in, hands are on here. We want to kind of avoid this by growing the spinal column. Now, the arms, they can free float while we work on spinal extension. And you'll notice that there's a kind of a pull inwardly when we try to extend the spine, things want to pull to the center line. And that's good, actually. You want to keep that. So I'm going to just use my hands as an anchor on my ankles. And I'm going to proud out my chest. And then I physically try to open the knees towards the earth and pull in the feet a little more as I keep the chest proud, keeping the neck tension free. Chin draws in and upward, spine long, proud, proud, proud chest, and then relax and extend legs out. You're welcome. That's a nice stretch there. All right, now come down onto your backside. You notice that our intensity is reduced a lot because we're just working on some specific stretches. Now our figure 4 stretch, again, it's one of these things where let's find a nice lumbar extension. So when we flatten out and get our low back skin on the mat, it's really kind of extending that lumbar spine. It normally has a curve that starts on the outside, curves inwardly, and ends on the outside where our pelvic girdle is. So when we extend it, we're going to flatten it out a little bit and relieve some of the pressure in those lower vertebrae of the spinal column. And why is that important? Because those are really the building blocks for the rest of the spinal column. Everything stacks on top of that. And they're the biggest bones in the spinal column. Now, with our leg and figure 4 stretch, I'm just kind of like holding out there a little bit. But what I'm doing is I'm actively working the external rotation of the right knee. And I've just used two components. I'm pushing the outside of my right foot into the left thigh, and I'm using the musculature of my body to try to create a rotation of the right knee. But what I'm not doing is letting that low back lift up off the floor. And then I'm going to take that right foot, continue to push it in, and then I'm going to rotate internally the knee. So the angle of this movement is working some of our adductors on the posterior side of our inner leg. And we're just making a few movements like this. And then we're going to relax that, plant that foot down. I won't talk this side to death. I'll just let you kind of enjoy and experience what we did on the opposite side. I know right now you're kind of checking in with all of those elements that we discussed on the last side, especially that low back, as we begin now to make that effort of pushing the left foot and making that rotational effort inward and outward on that left knee, enjoying a few repetitions. On the next rep, extend the legs all the way out. Take your arms all the way backwards and use fingers and toes to pull along your body. Hollow out your belly. Fill those lungs with air. Blow it out. Pull again, fingers and toes. Make it nice and long. Rock your head from side to side. Blow out the air. On the head, bring those arms down. I'm going to drop mine just over my chest. Find a little relaxation as I rotate my toes inwardly. I'm going to bring my knees in to touch or get close to it. And then I'm going to let the legs extend and the feet fall into their place. And take another breath or two. And
And he's released the next breath. Pilates style, all the way up to a seated position,
Or just stay down. Let's bring hands over hearts. So I can thank you for joining us today. Namaste.
Namaste.
All
My
right,
little friend right here.
yeah.
I definitely felt that class yesterday. Whew.